stand, so that's first technical difficulty over and done with. Okay, so tonight is all about researchers do comedy, and I used to be a historian and researcher in history, but just lately my job is actually to help other researchers to do their job. I'm what's called a researcher developer. Who knew that they existed? And so in my job, I get to talk to a lot of researchers, and one of the things I always want to know is how they got started. What was the thing that made them want to be researchers? Because let's face it, it's kind of a weird job. And I've discovered that there are some people, it kind of dawns on them gradually that they're going to be a researcher. And other people, they can actually identify that moment in time that made them become a researcher. And some people, they're just bumbling through life, and they're just, I don't know, tinkering around with explosive gases year on, year out, and then suddenly it dawns on them, oh my God, I'm a rocket scientist. How did that happen? And then other people, they have a moment, and when they look back, they go, that was the moment that made me a researcher. So I was walking over Itchen Bridge the other day to Woolston, and as I came off on the Woolston side, I found a bunch of bridge spotters. I'm going to say that again. Bridge spotters. It's a thing, apparently. So what happened was, I come off the bridge, and I see this group of people staring at the bridge. So I turn round, and I'm like, okay, so what is it, fireworks? Stampeding wildebeest? What am I looking at? And so I go up to the group, and I'm sort of like, okay, what's going on here? I go up to the guy in charge. I could tell he was in charge because he was festooned in cameras, and he was wearing one of those hardcore waxed waterproof coats that only really dedicated people dare to wear in public. And I'm like, this is when I discovered there are bridge spotters among us. Now I'm struggling with bridge spotting as a pastime, I have to admit. I mean, where is the challenge here? It's a bridge. I mean, I can get behind bird spotting, there's an element of skill and knowledge involved, a bit of luck, there's a challenge there. Train spotting, bit harder to get behind. I mean, once you've mastered the timetable, okay, 6:45 to Charing Cross, tick off your life list, less of a challenge. Although, I grant you, only the most dedicated and skilled train spotter is going to see a southern train these days. Looking at these bridge spotters, I see there's a couple of youngsters there, standing there in the drizzle, and they possibly dreaming of the day when they're going to be cool enough to wear a waxed waterproof coat. And maybe one of them is having that moment when they discover that they want to dedicate their lives to studying what makes bridges stand up. Maybe they were having that moment. So what I'm going to do now is tell you about how I knew when I finally realised I was a researcher, and I looked back and I was just like, how did this happen? And I realised I knew I had that moment in my mind. I know the exact moment that I became I got put on that path to becoming a historian. And that moment happened just after midday in November 1993, because I'm that old. And 4 words changed my life. So I'm going to tell you how that happened. I'm going to set the scene for you. So I'm sitting in a lecture, a bunch of medieval historians, we're all sitting in a lecture, and the lecturer says, hello first year undergraduates, today's the day that you have to sign up for your preferred module next term. If you don't sign up today, you just get randomly assigned. Shockwave through the entire lecture theatre, because quite naturally, nobody has signed up yet for their preferred module for next term. So what happens next is completely inevitable. End of the lecture, 100 medieval historians running across town to get to the medieval history department because they want to sign up for their favourite course. We go past the French department. We leave language students twirling in our wake. There are random pedestrians climbing lampposts to get away from us. We're overwhelming the street. We get to the medieval history department. And this is where, because I am a historian, and I have to take you back in time now, I'm going to take you into the ancient past, when students had to be physically present and stand in front of things called pinboards and use pens to sign their names on pieces of paper to sign up for their modules. Okay, so that's the history lesson. So I'm standing there in the foyer of the medieval history department, and it's chaos. I mean, I'm never going to forget this scene. It got brutal pretty fast. One thing sticks in my memory: a mature student, blue rinse, sensible shoes, excess of tweed. And never has the word "to handbag" been more fully realised. This woman had a combat handbag. This thing had sharp edges, and she's handbagging people because she wants Crusader castles, and no one is going to get in here. People are falling back bloodied and bruised. And while this is happening, there is all-out war over 12th century papal reform. People are stabbing each other with biros to get on to the 12th century papal reform class. Sorry, I'm just going to have to say that again. 12th century papal reform. Why? I mean, just why? There are some strange people on this planet, and some of them, most of them, are medieval historians. So while this is happening, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I think I'm going to have to call in the UN right now. And then another fight breaks out over Abelard and Eloise. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Abelard and Eloise. Probably not. So, Abelard and Eloise. Eloise, her dad's a merchant, and he's pretty enlightened for the medieval period. He wants his daughter to have an education. So he goes to the local monastery, and he employs the monk, Abelard, to be her tutor. So they enter into a period of intense study, or at least that's what they told her dad. But they did get pretty intense, and Eloise got pregnant. So, student-tutor relationships, I mean, that presents ethical issues today. It's no different in the medieval period. Well, except for one thing. The Medieval Misconduct Board did not mess around. Eloise is exiled to a nunnery. Abelard is castrated. I'm not really that keen on Abelard and Eloise, if I'm honest. I have a problem with them. It's mainly to do with what they did to their son. I mean, apart from the fact that the poor kid's going to be bullied at school because of his parents' really well-known affair, but they decided to give him the worst name in the history of bad names for children. They called him Astrolabe. And you know what an astrolabe is? You see, all I know is it's some kind of medieval instrument for measuring something scientific, and frankly I heard the word scientific and my brain switched off. But I'm just thinking, what would it be like if all researchers decided to call their kids after the things they work with in the lab? I mean, here come the twins, microscope and telescope, wow, for God's sake. Here's little electron spectrometer Jones. Or what about poor little speculum Smith, for God's sake. galleries, not a fan. And while this is all happening, you know, scenes of destruction in the foyer of the medieval history department, I'm different to everyone else. Why am I different? Because in October that year, I got caught in a rain shower, really heavy rain, and my trainers got wet. I mean, seriously wet. And these are the days when students only had one pair of shoes. So I needed those shoes dry for the next day. So I get to my room and I'm looking around for something absorbent. And my eye lights upon the medieval history course book. And boy, was that absorbent. So while everyone else knows what they're fighting for, I haven't got a Scooby. And I'm looking at this scene of utter breakdown of civilization. And suddenly, there's a gap in the scrimmage over medieval heresies. And I see one word. And that word is Viking. And that one word led me to think 4 more words. And those words changed my life for the next 15 years. And those 4 words in my internal monologue were cool, big, hairy, barbarians.